So you might be wondering if the Ascent is worth playing. Quick answer, yes. But it's a little bit more than that. Let's firstly start by explaining what the Ascent is. So the Ascent is an isometric twin shooter developed by the small 12-people studio of Neon Giant. So the game can be played single player or with same screen or online co-op. And during co-op, all players can make their character that they can customize. So this can allow for intense and quick gameplay as your screen can get flooded with enemies. It's a genre of gaming that's been around for nearly 40 years, but for some people it's seen as a product of technical restraints of the time. Back when the genre started, there wasn't 3D modeling that allowed for the first-person view. As gaming progressed, we saw a shift towards first-person shooters. So while we had some great twin-stick shooters throughout the years, it is a genre that rarely saw a lot of attention. It was at times seen as a gimmick or a product of its past limitations. For some, they saw twin-stick shooters as quick gameplay that lacked depth, and this could be a major concern. However, I can happily say that the Ascent has shown that when it comes to depth, world building and immersion, that twin-stick shooters can not only beat some first-person games, they can create sci-fi worlds that make you want to play, and make you want to play not just for the gameplay, but for the world building, the setting, graphics, and world design is what truly makes the Ascent a unique experience worth playing. So let's talk about the world. The game is set in a dystopian future planet that is owned by mega corporations. Your character is called Indent, as a direct reference to being indentured slave to the corporation. The story starts off as the mega corporation, called the Ascent Group, owns the whole planet, has suddenly gone quiet. In the chaos, various groups and companies are trying to take over. The story is solid. It has voice acting and the occasional video pop-up when you're out and about, so you can stay updated. It has its twists and turns and is an enjoyable sci-fi / cyberpunk story that keeps your attention. It generally will have you wanting to find out what happens next. But where the game truly shines is its world building and attention to detail. This is the type of world building that enhances the story. I never felt like the setting was an afterthought. I always felt like it was the purpose. Countless times playing, you will get lost in the living dynamic background of the game. As you're running through corridors, your background is alive with machinery turning and operating. As you play, you feel you're a part of this breathing world. The attention to detail is shown even in the small things. So for example, they have NPCs in the elevator ride or even your train loading screen. This brings a sense of immersion and reminds you that you're just one part of this world. Where the world building is at its best is seen in its city. When you finish the tutorial and you get off the elevator, your screen is flooded with detail. You can see the multi-layered cyberpunk dystopian city. You see streets tightly packed with merchants and bright neon signs that light up the town. Detail in every store, house, and the environment is almost overwhelming. It leaves you with the possibilities and mysteries about what is happening. It brings a sense of immersion. You can see different levels of lighting in the background as the light hits the environment. Even in first-person games, you rarely see this level of commitment to the minor details and immersion. When it comes to world building, the game makes a statement that this world is alive and is important, that you, as the player, should care about it and want to learn more. The overall sound from the music, characters, and weapons enhances the gameplay and makes the world feel even more alive. As you explore the city, you can hear the city bustling, flooded with sounds of people talking, shops, and music. And this attention to detail is not just in the city. The opening tutorial, you'll hear the echoes of machinery working and robots soldering to repair machinery in the background. This same attention to detail is heard in the quality of the weapons. The overall sound choices enhance the gameplay and make the world feel even more alive. Here are some examples.
If someone wanted to cripple our cluster, they couldn't have done a better job.
Attention, arcology now in default.
The combat is the traditional twin-stick shooter, where you move one stick to look and the other to shoot. However, the game provides a twist. This twist is through implementing a cover system and two different heights of aiming. These heights are head and waist levels. If you hold the back trigger, you aim your weapon at the head height. This can be used for headshots. However, depending on the height of the enemy, you may just miss them completely. So some smaller enemies and certain bosses' weak spots is actually at your hip fire range. This little change to the formula adds a nice change of pace. That is, after you realise your shots keep missing and you wonder why. To try and keep combat refreshing, the game has different weapon types and the addition of RPG skills that you can customize to allow for more character customization and a variety of playstyles. So you have sidearms, shotguns, machine guns, and tactical abilities that include shockwaves, grenades, turrets, and even a mech suit. Keeping with the theme, you have augmentations that can give you more abilities and bonuses. So these add a nice RPG and customization depth to the game to help break up combat occasionally. For players who haven't played since launch, they've had numerous patches to try and fix bugs and crashes that some players had. They've added voice acting to all side missions, they've added a transbog system so you can customize your armor and weapons, and they've added a new Game Plus mode where you take your character and replay it over harder difficulty. However, there's no real update if that's on Xbox yet. In saying all this, however, there is a few challenges with the game. Even with the different weapons and skills, some players may find the combat repetitive. I didn't find it too bad as the story can be completed in under 20 hours and I enjoyed the setting. Another issue is while it does have different weapons and gear, it does have a limited range of customizations and weapons. Since this is a small studio and its first attempt at this new universe, I didn't find this to be a deal breaker. Ultimately, if you find the genre repetitive and you don't find the story/setting setting interesting, this may not be the experience for you. And this isn't helped by the side missions having a lot of backtracking as well. Also, the game implements a ping system to allow you to follow the mission objective. However, because of the multi-layered setting, it can become a bit broken at times. Finally, performance-wise, some players have reported crashes on PC, however, I didn't experience anything. The developer's ability to create a new universe in a cyberpunk setting that is unique and engaging cannot be understated, especially from an indie developer with a team of 12 people. They managed to create a truly unique world and setting, a task that even major companies with hundreds of people have struggled to do. Yes, the scale of the project is different. However, the game shows an understanding on how to draw the player in through world building that is intertwined with a story. The set doesn't feel like they created the setting, story, and gameplay separately. They ensured all sections work together. So if you like the cyberpunk aesthetic, then I highly recommend experiencing the world that has been created. Its attention to detail elevates the game and shows how a strong setting and immersion can enhance the game. Yes, the game has a smaller story, however it went bigger in world building. It has succeeded in launching a new universe. It really is a strong foundation that has piqued a lot of people's interest in a sequel. So if you're a twin stick shooter and RPG fan, Ascent is worth the experience. It shows the genre after over 40 years still has a lot of unique perspective and potential.